So recently, there's been a lot in the news lately talking about this group called Shop Local Raleigh, which is ran by a woman named Jennifer Martin, or she kind of works there. And Jennifer got a lot of attention for basically saying children can't be trans and stuff on a Facebook group. And what happened was she left the comment anonymously, but I guess the admin of the group felt offended by that and decided to out her anyway. So these so-called progressives in Raleigh lost their shit about it and raised a whole bitch fit about it, and they literally act like this woman killed a child or something, or committed a serious crime against humanity for having an opinion. And she said it anonymously. So they tried to get her fired. The little outrage mob tried to get her fired from her position at Shop Local Raleigh. But again, she left the comment anonymously, so there's not really a lot legally they could do. And it just raised a lot of attention, and people saying all this stuff like hate has no home here and protect trans kids and just all this stuff. And recently, Shop Local Raleigh released a statement saying that basically Jennifer had to apologize for what she said, and based on what it looks like, they're not going to fire her or let her go, which I think is the right decision. I think it's the right decision. I mean, she did not commit a crime. I mean, these so-called human rights people need to understand what the law is, and it's not a crime to have an opinion. It's not. Like, get over it, you know? And if they did fire her, she could probably countersue for workplace discrimination. But I think it's, quite frankly, disgusting and shameful that these people in Raleigh who think they're such good, moral, decent people about the LGBT stuff, they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites. And they don't even really care about trans people, you know? They just want to look good and virtue signal, you know? And this, for me, this so-called progressive stuff in Raleigh and the hypocrisy, it goes back years for me, because I was gassed and beaten half to death in 2020 during the BLM riots. And it was a black female police chief who gave the order to use chemical weapons on civilians, which included nurses and even children and even trans people. And where was the outrage from Raleigh's progressive crowd when chemical weapons were being used on trans people? I didn't see one single little social media group, little Raleigh news group. I didn't see one of these so-called activist people say a word of condemnation against that. But someone has an opinion about trans kids online anonymously, and they act like Pearl Harbor happened again or something. And I think it's absolutely disgusting and shameful. And not only that, but there's a lot of hypocrisy, because, like, for example, Y Hill Brewing, which is a restaurant near the Bowling Heights Little Bridge, they got controversy years ago for refusing to host Moms for Liberty at their establishment, and that got attention. And I remember hearing about that, and I drove down there because, see, all these so-called progressives, they say they're so inclusive and they're all about helping the marginalized people and all about helping out the little guy. I drove by Y Hill to see what their place was like. I didn't see one ADA parking spot for my handicapped mother who's a dementia patient. I didn't see one handicapped parking spot in this so-called progressive business, which thinks they're such great people. Not even one. So you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. And recently in the news, back in August, I want to say, there was a news story of this trans drag queen, black woman, who got assaulted at Legends, was hit with a beer bottle over the head 6 times, and she hit him some too, and she got charged too, but she got hit over the head 6 times with a beer bottle, And she makes this viral video about it, trying to blame white supremacy and Republicans and anti-trans bigotry and protect the dolls and all that stuff. But then come to find out the man who assaulted her was a black man. It was a black man who hit her over the head 6 times with a beer bottle. And of course, white people are not going to want to interfere. Because if the woke progressive stuff says that if black people are fighting, white people need to stay out of it, because if you get caught up in there, now you're the racist, you know? So a black man assaulted her, not Pat McCroy, not the Proud Boys, not the incels, not Andrew fucking Tate, not the 1-6 people. But she did a GoFundMe about it, raised $10,000 on a lie. On a lie. And all these progressive newspapers and progressive little social media groups, they ran with the cover-up. They gaslit us. They gaslit us. And they lied to us. And now they want to throw some moral high ground little bullshit about a woman saying kids shouldn't be trans. It's disgusting. Raleigh is getting very difficult to live in for poor people. And these so-called do-gooders are madder at social media posts than at real issues in our communities, such as child homelessness increasing 27%, property taxes going up. Who are the people making it so poor people can't afford to live here? Hell, could a trans person who makes $10 an hour working at Family Dollar afford to live in All Are Welcome, Hate Has No Home Here, downtown Raleigh? Hell no. Hell no. So I think it's disgusting that these so-called progressive people, what they're really trying to do in Raleigh and in other places too, they're trying to create a social credit score. That's what they're doing, a social credit score. They're trying to make it so if you don't have the correct opinion on 20 things, and it's not enough to just vote for Democrats. It's not enough to say Black Lives Matter. It's not enough to say support Ukraine and end hatred and end bigotry. It's not enough to checklist their little crap. If you disagree mildly on one thing, you should be fired and made homeless, if not put in jail. That's what it sounds like it's getting to. It's a social credit score. You have to have the correct opinion in order to have some kind of authority, and having the wrong opinion based on the fact that they don't care about police gassing children. They're more offended by social media posts than by children being gassed by our police who are funded by Democrats. I'm sorry. You made a choice. You made a choice to care about dumb shit. You made a choice to care about dumb shit, and people are tired of it. People are tired of it. What are you going to do? Just cancel everybody who ain't fully woke enough? Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, they're trying to make it so you can't have an opinion anymore and have a position of anything. And these little independent business owners, vendors, artists, crap like that, they're like, I'm never ever gonna do anything associated with Shop Local Raleigh or whatever. I'm never gonna do anything with them again because they're literally Hitler. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And we have real problems in our city. What people say online is not one of them. She didn't get fired, which is good, but the outrage mob is still there, and they're doing what they can to look like they're good people. But if you're poor, it's becoming clear to me that they don't want you in Raleigh. They don't want you going downtown. They don't want you going to these places like Crawford & Sons and Second Empire. They don't want you here, but they want to feel good about it too. And I think they should be ashamed of themselves.